Let's see how we can use the DMIN function in Google Sheets. We have the DMIN function Google Sheet open, and it has the data template we require. In column A, we have the employee name from A to J. In column B, we have the department, Department 1, or Department 2, of the employees given in column A. In column C, we have the test, Test 1, or Test 2. That is the employees given in column A, whose department is either Department 1, or Department 2, all have given Test 1 and Test 2. In column D, we have the score of the employees given in column A, whose department is given in column B, for the test given in column C. In cell H2, we want the minimum score of the employees of Department 1, in Test 1. In cell H5, we want the minimum score, the employees in Department 1 scored in Test 2. In cell H8, we want the minimum score of the employees of Department 2, in Test 1. And in cell H11, we want the minimum score of employees in Department 2, in Test 2. Let's head to the H2 cell. To get the minimum score, we will use the DMIN function, which gives a minimum of values from a table-like range. It takes database, field, and criteria as arguments. An example is shown. For our case, we will write equal to DMIN, database, or the array, or range will be from B1 to D21. Let's lock this range, using the F4, or the function plus F4 keys, as the case may be, because we do not want this database range to change when we copy this formula from the H2 cell to the H5, H8, or H11 cell. Comma, field, since we want the minimum score, which is given in the D column, we will write D1. Let's lock D1 as well, using the F4 or the function plus F4 keys, as we do not want this also to change as we copy the formula to other cells. Comma, criteria, for the first case, the criteria is department should be Department 1, and the test should be Test 1, so the criteria is F1 to G2. We will not lock this range, because we want this range to change when we copy the formula from the H2 to H5, H8, or H11 cell. Let's close the bracket. We see that the minimum score, the employees of Department 1 scored in Test 1 is 23. So, if we check for Department 1, Test 1, we have this data, the minimum score is in D23. Now, instead of D1, we could also have given the field as 3, because we have B1 to D21 database, so B column would be column 1, C column would be column 2, and D column would be column 3. So, we could even write the number 3 instead of D1 in the field, and get the same result 23. Let's change it back to D1. Now, let's copy the formula from the H2 cell, and paste it in the H5 cell. We see that the database and the field remain unchanged, but the criteria has changed to F4 to G5, that is, department is Department 1, and test is Test 2. We see that the minimum score of the employees of Department 1, in Test 2 is 15. So, if we check for Department 1, and Test 2, the minimum score is 15. Now, let's copy the formula from the H5 cell, to the H8 cell. we see that the minimum score scored by the employees of Department 2, in Test 1 is 38. So, if we check for Department 2, Test 1 results, we see that the minimum score is 38. Let's copy the formula from the cell H8 to the cell H11. We get the minimum score scored by the employees of Department 2, in Test 2, that is 27. So, if we check for Department 2, Test 2 scores, we see that the minimum score is 27. With this, we have successfully learned how to use the DMIN function in Google Sheets. Thank you for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe if this video was useful.